and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, aquí es los resultados de ADN de un mexicano de Jalisco. But anyway, man, quick background on the areas where my grandparents originated from. So that way it can, make sense. The results can make sense. Or at least somewhat explain them. Three of my grandparents are from a region called Los Altos de Jalisco, right? Los Altos de Jalisco is known, you know, to have on average one of the highest levels of European admixture. And the other grandparent, which is my paternal grandmother, she is from a different region of Jalisco. It is on the northern bump of Jalisco. So, if you ever notice, all right, the map, right, there's this bump right here. My paternal grandmother is somewhere in this general area. It's northern bump on the side that's close to Zacatecas. But we'll get to the states later. So, my DNA. The highest category is European at 71.6%. And I'm gonna lie to you, I was surprised. I wouldn't be too surprised if it was like a 60, 65%, but 71.6%? That's kind of surprising. I don't know. I just feel surprised by this. But anyway, let's delve into this. So, unsurprisingly, right, 70.1% of it is Southern European, and even less surprising, 67.5% Spanish and Portuguese. So it doesn't say what region of Spain I'm from, because I see some tests, and people have Spain and Portugal regions, but I don't. So that means it must have been from long ago, but they didn't detect it. Kind of do wish I know, but I mean, it is what it is. So 2.6% broadly Southern European, and 0.9% Ashkenazi Jewish. This could probably be because of, conversos, right? Conversos are Spanish Jews, right? You know, during the Reconquista, Spain made laws stating that everybody in Spain had to be Catholic. And of course, there were a lot of Jews who didn't want to be Catholic. And so they escaped. And quite a lot escaped to Latin America, in this case, Mexico, which is why this is there. And 0.6% broadly European, so somewhere in Europe. Just somewhere in Europe. Next category is 23% Native American. So the Native American itself is well expected, right? Because Mexico has one of the highest, indigenous populations, all the Americas, right? And of course, we like to pride ourselves on, being home to the Aztecs, to the Olmecs, and the Mayans, right? Now, obviously, I do not know, like, for sure, like which tribes my native blood came from, right? Right? So I'm not just gonna go around saying that I'm an Aztec because I don't know. Okay? I don't know. Now, there's a speculation that maybe it might have been, the Huichol peoples or the Wishtiyari peoples, but we don't know. In case you don't know, the Huichol and Wishtiyari people, they're two tribes that have, that had territory in Jalisco. So I guess maybe it's that, but who knows? I have heard of sites such as Somos Ancestria, which try to delve further into, where which tribes native blood came from. So it'd be interesting. Then the next category is the third root of, not just Mexican culture, but Latin American culture, Sub-Saharan African, which is at 1.7%, right? So the Sub-Saharan African, that most likely came through, slavery because Spanish came and nearly the entire native population died off due to a combination of, war, killings, and disease, right? And so the Spanish decided to kidnap West Africans, right? They kidnapped them, enslaved them, and boop, right here in Mexico. And that's where our sub-Saharan African blood comes from, right? So 1% of it is West African, 0.3% is Nigerian, 0.3% is Senegambia and Ghanaian, and 0.4% is broadly West African, and 0.7% of that is Angolan and Congolese. So, to be quite honest with you, my paternal grandmother might have quite a bit of sub-Saharan African. I don't know. I think she does because she might. Because there's this phenomenon, right? In Latin America, the black grandma in the closet. So that could be my paternal grandmother. Who knows? West Asian and North African is at 1.4%. So 0.5% of that is Arab, Egyptian, and Levantine. 0.2% is Levantine. And zero point 0.1 is North African. So trace ancestry is at 0.3%. Oh yeah, West Asian, North African came through, Muslim caliphates that ruled Spain for a while. That's why you see a lot of, Arab influence, especially in southern Spain, and why a lot of southern Europeans have a little bit of, Arab in them, a little bit of North African, right? That's why. So then the trace ancestry is Gujarati Patidar, which is based in India. It's pretty interesting. And so, the states that we from. Look at all these states. They got Jalisco, right? You got Zacatecas. You got Michoacan. You got Guanajuato. You got even the capital, Mexico City, one of the largest cities in the world. You got Chihuahua. You got Aguascalientes. You got Durango. You got Nuevo León. And you got Northern State, Sinaloa. And no ancestry in the rest of Central America. But, I did go through the DNA relatives thing, and granted, I don't know if they really my relatives because a lot of them are distant, right? Not to be bogus, by the way, but it's distant relatives, so I don't know. But a lot of them say that they have, Central American grandparents, right? Which, that's what's up, man. Right? You gotta respect all your roots and, all your places of origin, man, because it makes part of you. Now, that's right, 100% of my relatives have Native American ancestry. You already know. Now, 147% more likely to drink instant coffee. That is true, but I don't really care much about the traits. I don't. Why should I worry about them? Maternal haplogroup is maternal haplogroup C. So just look at this. Haplogroup C went from haplogroup M in Arabia, haplogroup L3, and I guess puts it around Sudan and such, and haplogroup L in even more southern Africa. And then paternal haplogroup. RZ278. Based probably around here. Came from RM207. Western Asia, well, Central Asia, really. KM9, Iran. FMA9, Arabia. And then A in Africa. So, fellas, that is the ingredients, the blood that makes me, you know, shout out to all my ancestors, man. Whether they're from Europe, the Americas, or Africa, right? Doesn't matter. They helped create me, and that's dope, man. Dope to know what I am made of. Peace to everybody that watches and subscribes. Have an excellent day, y'all.